Hello, all, and welcome to the for Shits and Giggles, or Laughs, whatever you want to call it. Felt like I'd just do a live panel for the hell of it. Come on in and join in on the fun. What the hell do you mean I can't send an invite? You stupid wankers. Oh, hey, bear. Hope I went through that time. I'm a ghost. Boo! Dibby dibby doo. Let me see if I can post a stupid link. Howdy, Miss Joe. Hey, it went through. Holy shit. Howdy, Miss Joe. Howdy, the other four people that are watching. That crap it up. And so, how's the weather out where you're at, Miss Joe? Oh, I'll be right back. All right, trying to get Andrew up here so we can have some fun and somebody to talk to. Hey, Miss Holly. Oh, good God. Come on back, Andrew. You pooped and left. What the hell? Yeah, what was up with that guy, that NNE Brian? Couldn't understand anything he was trying to say. I'm gonna send out an email for everybody to come join. Welcome back, Andrew.
What's that?
Welcome back.
Oh,
What the
hang
hell
on.
was that?
Did I say it again?
What the hell was that shit show about?
Well, I mean, if I could have got, any words in there, it would have been so one-sided. But every time I went to speak, hell, one or three of them went to fucking running their mouth. So I don't know.
Yeah,
You hear me?
they're all like Tammy Linlin. As soon as you try to
Oh,
say
yeah.
something, they would speak over you. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Give the man time to talk.
Oh, look, I was patient. I just sit back, kept my mouth shut. I mean, look, I didn't come up there to attack really anybody, but just to bring to light they're the only motherfuckers out there having issues with other people.
Yep.
You know, and like I said, Phil Bryant, you know, I defended you on the Drama Dome. My Drama Dome ain't what y'all have here. My Drama Dome brings out the stupidity in people, like when Pitchy Ryder was, you know, talking shit on him for having his kids on that fucking panel. Yeah, I called her out for the shit. I thought it was bullshit.
Yeah,
You know?
like my problem with that whole situation, did he do wrong having her on there for more than, say, 10, 20 minutes? Yes, because it is an adult thing. There is
Right.
situation. But there was
Right.
James Freeman had a kid sitting on his lap when he was giving threats to Ranger Horse. Where was she then?
James Freeman takes some of his kids out and gives them a video camera to record while he's discussing the cops.
Yep.
No one has a problem with that. No one has a problem when I put my nephews and them and nieces on the camera when I paint my fucking toenails. No one has a problem. What was the fucking problem with him having that child on there?
Hey, Slacker, come on up, brother.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I don't care. You know, it's not that I was there to attack individually. I was there to, I guess, find out why they're the only ones that have a fucking problem with people. I don't understand it. But now, I'll promise you, they'll have a whole segment on me now. I promise you. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope Slacker comes up. He's
And
a
I
good
had
dude.
no thought in my head, one thought, not even one thought, to go back to the Drama Dome or my other channel or any other channel that I have, because I have quite a few channels, and say anything about that panel I was just on. Never once crossed my mind to do so. So where Brian got his logic at was just completely retarded.
Yeah.
And he needs to look up the word idiot. I fear that he's misusing a word and trying to make it, match some kind of context that he was trying to do that it don't match. Just like Josh earlier is up there and he's talking about, and I can't already say the word right. I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Shit. So he said he's trying to protect their anonymity. Like how he said it.
Anonymity?
Yeah. He needs to look that word up.
Hey, MJ. Hey, Slacker, come on up, man. If Andrew talks over you, I'll put his ass in the basement.
I think I'm pretty patient. I don't talk over people.
You try not to. But
I try not.
On a live panel, it's hard to tell, who's talking, especially when you're riding.
Right. Like I said, every time someone talks, I just shut up, I'm not going to sit up there and try to yell over three people and get pissed off and triggered and whine and cry. It wasn't going to happen. But I thought it was really fun. You stupid thing. Hang on. Are you done? No, apparently not.
What
Anyway,
the hell?
It's my tattletale. I just thought it was funny that, that it was mentioned that channel helps all these other channels grow. That's the only reason they come there is to get recognition. What? Okay, sure. We'll go with that.
Ellen L. Sanchez, you can come on up too. But if Slacker's up here talking, you walk on him, you're going in the basement.
I'll be honest with you. I think New England, whatever his name's Brian, I think he's a pretty decent guy. But everybody around him on that panel, they're ruining that panel. They're ruining his channel.
Yeah.
The fuck noise is that?
Spray bottle.
How many people we got in here?
Just you and me. Set 19 on the stream.
Oh, that's what we got.
Or 20.
And I don't care what. I'm done talking about it. It ain't no big deal. Anyway.
Yeah, and I want to say something to you. Thank you for what you're doing for Miss Joe.
You're welcome. Man,
Yeah.
I was waiting on one person to give me the go ahead. and I feel like
This
shit because it
record.
took so long for it to come out. But I knew that one person I was waiting on would come and tell me to let it go because I know the person is good-hearted, and I don't think the person knew exactly what Miss Joe was going through at the time. So I apologize right now to Miss Joe for letting it go for so long.
Yeah. Hey, El Sanchez and Slacker.
What's up, old boss? How you doing? What's up, NN? What's up, Sancho?
Hey guys.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, and El Sancho, or however it's been announced. There's more than just one female, two females were out there in the community calling the wrong people out for doing stupid shit.
I didn't hear the first part. Say that again.
There's more than just two females calling out stupidity in the community.
There's more than two females?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, you said there was only two females that are out there giving men hell. There's more than that.
No, I never said that. I have Pink Camera Magic and Laura Shark on the Tonight Show, actually.
Pink's good. Laura's good. There's
Right, but I never said that. I said there needs to be more females, having a platform like that.
There's Constitutional Kim. There's Boomer.
There's Granite State.
Yeah, Granite State. Buck G.
Right, but do you agree with the logic that there needs to be more, and that this is a male-dominated movement? You could say.
No, I think there needs to be less.
There is a lot of male chauvinistic pigs. Yes.
Just joking, by the way, people.
Is there a lot of males that are feminists? Yeah. Reba, 5150. Did you bother to get her? Or Constitutional Kim?
I'd love to get anybody on that panel. It's an open panel like tonight as well for the females.
Hey, Diver.
Good afternoon, all.
Constitutional Kim, when she screws up, she owns it.
I would like to feature someone like that. Absolutely. And I really appreciate the recommendation. Constitutional Kim, you said?
Yep. She's partnered with her boyfriend, girlfriend with Colorado Donkey Watch.
I'll reach out. I was on GoldenEye's stream the other night, and I said, "Hey, do you want to do this again?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "Who do you want on?" They mentioned Laura Shark, and 24 hours later, Laura Shark confirmed. So I'm going to definitely work on this name as well. Thanks for that.
HPR, this is good auditors.
Hang on, what the hell's an auditor?
Or, yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't like that word. An auditor is somebody that goes to like a business and audits their books, their financials, and I mean that's and there's some people out there I guess that do go out and audit the police, and government's books, but for the most majority, a lot of them don't know how to do public records requests correctly.
I have learned, Andrew, that a lot of cop watchers hate the word auditors, and they don't want to be associated with auditors or auditing at all, the cop watchers.
Oh, well, I'm not an auditor, and I'm not a cop watcher, so, I mean, I couldn't tell you what they like or don't like.
There's Teresa. She's a...
Now, Teresa knows how to do some public records request.
I thought it was hilarious that some unknown troll was getting called out, and then now maybe later pops up, and I start laughing my ass off, like, oh shit. But then I knew that mute button was going to be used a lot.
Oh yeah, I was muted. I guarantee I was muted a whole lot. I bet y'all didn't hear half of what I had to say.
It wasn't a fair play. It wasn't a fair fight. It never is there, which is why they only go on their panels. Like if you noticed, everybody that's on that panel, they don't go on other panels because they don't have the control they have there.
But I wasn't up there looking for a fight. That's what they were mistaking. I wasn't up there looking for their 2,000 subscriber recognition either.
303 Cop Block, he's pretty good.
I like 303.
Slacker's the bomb, though.
They were attacking 303 an hour ago, attacking
I
his
know.
wife, calling her a dumb broad and everything, and now he's up.
And
I'm like,
and then he's up there protecting him. I thought that was pretty good too, yeah. So can we say scripted?
Probably.
I will say a lot of what they do is scripted. I have the videos where they admit that it is a scripted show, which is why I know when you popped in, that script kind of got fucked up a little bit.
Oh yeah. I knew when I popped up that was going to throw a lot of people off. I mean, everybody's like, I knew that was going to happen, and that's fine. You know, I try to stay out of things for the most part because I don't want to be in their drama. I have my drama dome, and I'll run it. I don't really care to be in everybody else's drama. And on the Drama Dome, I tried to stay on point of stuff like what's going on with Miss Joe. Even when News Now England was being attacked, and I thought it was ridiculous. I don't just go out to try to run somebody. Try to run them. I mean, I've seen that on that channel, and that's bullshit. I mean, calling you a fucking pedophile without any proof.
They know who you are. They know who you are because you were on my channel a few times, and they watch my channel like a hawk. So they knew who you were before you hopped on. So them playing dumb about who you are and all that shit, it's just a really weak strategy on their part.
I've got Josh Abrams' phone number, and I've talked to him several times on the phone.
Hold on, I gotta put this out for Miss Joe. Don't forget Selena. She has bigger balls than Patrick.
Yeah. Hey, and I'll be right back, guys. I gotta go get the tools out of the car. So.
All right. You want me to move you down there, Andrew?
No, I mean, if you want to, I don't care. I'll be right back. I'm gonna leave you on the backyard.
All right.
I mean, that's a big reason why I put the link in the Discord for you, Odin, to see, because it wasn't going to be fair. I knew it wasn't going to be fair, but you also have to realize your voice in that chat room, Odin, means nothing because they just delete that as well. So there was nothing fair about anything they do ever.
Here, you can call me whatever. It's like, whatever. And I just scroll on by. Slacker taught me that lesson. You show people your character. Your actions are your actions, not my actions. I hope I said that right, Slacker. CFW. She seems like she's waking up. There, Sanchez. Or Joe.
I didn't hear that. Say it again.
CFW seems like she's waking up.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of education. She's starting to see more and more that she was being used. And I live rent-free in that person's head. And you won't find a show where I'm not mentioned 368 times. And it's disgusting. I mean, I'm going out of my way to be the better person and to do original content like Sancho Court, and all that stuff, and the ladies' night. I will be honest with you, it's difficult. It's not easy to ignore it, especially when the most vile, disgusting things are said about you, and you're the only person banned from going on there defending yourself. Not easy. It's a learning process. But I emailed an auditor who's good friends with them, and I who's a cop watcher, and I said, in the past 6 weeks, what has been discussed more, Sancho or the Constitution? Sancho or freedom of speech? And the answer is Sancho. And that's not good.
Yeah. And I'm glad that not CFW, sorry about that, misspoke there. What's his face? Josh is behind bars, fucker. Anywho,
Well,
How
I
you?
mean, Odin, it's just like if you gave me the reins and I called everybody an N-word and went absolutely crazy on your channel, at the end of the day, you're the one getting affected by it, not me. That's what you're seeing on that channel for the past 6 weeks.
Yeah. Like with the emo and that situation, that stuff, it's old. Should stop watching and just let it die out. They'll fade away to nothing.
I saw a 60-year-old man pretty much beg Andrew to be on the Drama Dome tonight. That's essentially what he wants because he wants the attention. He wants the exposure. The guy can't walk straight. He has a walker. He sits down 90% of the day. So the computer is his big life. That's his life. And getting attention from it is what he wants. So he desperately wants to be in the Drama Dome. Desperately wants that kind of attention. He was practically walking, crying because he wasn't going to be on it.
Yeah. You just ignore them and move along. Welcome back, Slacker. Yeah, El Sanchez. If you want to interview a good auditor, right there's the man to do it. And he'll
He's
keep
very
it.
hard to get a hold of. He's got people and people behind people, and he wears like beanies in the summer. So I'm trying my best with him.
Yeah. Slacker, he'll keep it real with you.
What's up? I'm been in and out, man. I think my interweb is fucking up.
It's all good. No, I was just saying, I'll just call him L. Could interview you, and you'd be one of the best interviews you probably had, in my opinion.
I'll interview him Saturday night, 11 p.m. Eastern. How about that, Odin?
Well, it's up to him.
No. It's up to you because like you're his publicist. Because everyone else I went to is charging me like per hour to talk to him. You're the only publicist that I'm able to get a chance on him. So can we do 11 p.m. Eastern Saturday?
You'd have to ask him. He has family he has to worry about first. I don't want his mom to whoop my ass.
I'm just a piece of shit. But I smell good. I'm a good smelling piece of shit.
I'm waiting for Slacker to talk.
I think it's starting to level out now.
The what?
Oh, there it goes. You leveled out a little bit.
What did he say?
He was saying he was hoping that he leveled out with the net.
I gotta get closer. Sorry. There's a guy over there mowing or something, being loud. How rude! So what now?
He was hoping he was leveling out, Slacker. He's having net problems.
Yeah, man, shitty ass Wi-Fi. Fuck, I'm paying all this money for AT&T for.
Huh? To get screwed? Welcome to that
Yeah,
club.
I was saying to get fucked with no VAS and not even a kiss.
Hey, let me ask you this: does your phone say 5G on it?
Yes, it does. Well, most of the day it does, depending on where I'm at in San Antonio. But most of the day it says 5G.
Did you know AT&T don't have 5G?
And see, no, okay, that's what I was reading. But then I was reading a few comments about 2 months ago that said T-Mobile and then sued them. So what AT&T did in order to after they had to pay out that lawsuit is they did go up and put 5G up in a few cities. So there's about 6 cities that actually have it. I just don't think we're one of them.
So AT&T went up
because
and
T-Mobile sued AT&T's ass for falsely.
Right.
And they got bit and had to. I don't know if they had to pay T-Mobile or pay somebody else, but yeah, they got fucking put out there for being a bunch of liars.
I don't know about the what they
and
had
that's
to do.
Twice AT&T's been fucking sued in the.
I don't know what they had to do to make up that, but
somebody. Yeah, because the internet shit. Yeah.
Well, AT&T still don't have 5G. I don't know where you got that at, but what they did,
See, there goes AT&T.
they went and got 4G LTE Plus, which is they're calling that their 5G. That's what they're getting away with.
Ah.
Yeah. Great, ain't it? I pay $130 a month.
You guys have absolutely no idea how bad AT&T's been screwed over the years, mainly because they've been screwing so many others.
Yep.
Odin probably remembers when AT&T and the Bell system were the same company.
Yeah.
Yeah, they screwed around with a company called MCI a little too much, and MCI brought federal suit against them. And the federal judge said, "Yeah, look at this, AT&T's monopoly. I'm going to break this up," and he did. Completely decimated AT&T and the Bell system.
Hey, I'm gonna mute up. I'll be listening. I'll interject if y'all holler at me if I can hear you. But I gotta get started. I'm here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so yeah. But y'all can watch a frauditor work for once in a change.
Yeah, if you call
Hey, Andrew, what's a frauditor?
When you do the interview with me, I'll let you know what a frauditor is.
Done.
How many times have you seen that multi-word phrase I use, El Sancho?
Slacker works, but he ain't
Every
a
time I
frauditor.
see you do it.
That's what I was gonna say. Some of us have jobs. I work 50 plus hours a week.
Yeah, what the hell,
Yeah.
Andrew?
Yeah, and Slacker, some of us did it for over 40 years, so now we don't have to.
Oh, I can't wait to be there with y'all, man. That's what I'm looking forward to. Shit, maybe I'll just take a page out of Josh and Patty's book. I'll just go eBay and cause a lot of
Yeah,
scenes.
why don't you go live? Why don't you go live and say you traveled halfway across the country without planning it, and now you have no way to get back and to donate to
Hey,
it?
fuck yeah, because look, I'll tell you what, that looks like I'm in some kind of fucking, oh man, I'm stranded out in fucking New Mexico right now. I got to get back to San Antonio. If y'all could help me, please. They wouldn't know. Look, that's the wall right there. Look, I'm out here by Mexico. That's the wall right there, man. If y'all can get me back to San Antonio, man, please. I'm out here stranded by Mexico.
All right, guys, how you doing? This is Patrick here. I'm over here with Southside Slacker.
Not
We
him,
decided
her.
to drive. We drove all the way to Mexico with no gas, guys, and we have no way to go
Yeah,
back home. And
Lassie.
me and Southside have kids, and we want to go home and see our kids, guys. So I don't know what to do. You guys need to do something.
Hey,
Dragon
you're
Train.
one thing. And if you believe in freedom, God bless.
Sorry.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. But God
I'm
bless.
going to have to do some illegal things, guys, if you don't donate to me. And I don't want to do anything illegal. I want to go home and see my kid. So you got to
only need
donate.
800. We only need 800 to get back. That's all we need. 800 to get us some bus tickets and some food, and I'll be good, man. 800, man, if y'all can get it to me. The PayPal is PayPal dot go fuck me in my ass.
Guys, we weren't supposed to be dogging on him too bad.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Come on, guys. I only have 2 tree stumps. I need 3 more. You guys see I'm putting the labor work, but I only have a couple of trees to pick up, and I need you to donate so I can go buy some more trees to carry around.
Then you got the auditors down in Arizona. Not all of them, some of them, making law, but not for the good, for the worse.
Yeah, well, you're talking about Tucson? They repealed that ordinance.
Oh, they repealed it?
At 2 o'clock,
Yep.
hoe ass motherfucker.
A rapper got involved.
Oh, Ice-T.
Listen, Justin, who are you to judge me? Because I drive across the country without a plan. Who are you to judge me? How about instead of judging me, you go to paypal.me/Patrick Patty and donate $50. How about every time you judge me, you give me $50?
Well, how about every time you judge me, you give me 100?
I got kids. Who are you to tell me?
So do I.
Not now, maybe later, saying a prayer to make sure I raise $682,000. Thank you. Not now, maybe later. I want to
So
see
I
some
do
later, guys.
So I got a question. Be an honest question. So what is it that everybody hates Patrick for? Be honest.
People don't like people who look pathetic and beg, and I think it's a really bad look when it's done 682 times, and it makes you look like you're less of a man and less of a person when you're continually begging. It makes you look
I don't know
pathetic.
if I could be heard. My internet's fucking up. But I'll say, well, I don't like Patty. I don't.
I don't. Well, that's good. That's a good reason. You're breaking up real bad, Bubba.
Yeah, see, I know it. I'm gonna try to stand right here, see if maybe I can hold the signal. Nope.
God, you gotta love AT&T.
Worse.
I used to like them.
Yeah,
They gave me a whole bunch of work.
so you gotta love him. I think I found a spot. I'm gonna stand still. I think I found a spot. Fuck, nope.
Now wait, wherever you're saying no, there needs to be a yes.
Oh, I think.
Yes,
y'all hear me?
Slacker. Can you see a cell site from where you're standing?
Oh shit, I did for a second.
If you see a tower, move about 10 miles away from it. You'll get better signal.
Yes,
I don't
yes,
think
sir.
so. If you
That's
can
it. I
see
think
the
I found a spot.
antennae, if you can see the antenna, you should have a decent signal.
So, I used to work on towers.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
For different companies during
Well,
one
real
summer
quick
when
before
I
I
was,
die out, I'm listening. I'll tell you.
yeah, go ahead.
Fuck, I'm just gonna listen. I'm just gonna listen. I'm just gonna sit in and listen.
Anyway, and NJ, the closer you are to the tower, the less signal you get. The signal broadcasts out long wave radio or long wave signals, not short wave. So the closer you are to it, the less signal you actually get. But anyway, the reason I asked about patty cakes is, yeah, he begs a lot. Yeah, I understand it annoys a lot of people, but who is it really hurting?
Well, I think the known reputation of being a liar also hovers his lack of treatment to the homeless community and the fact that he says you're donating to freedom, not to him, when we all know we're donating to him because the PayPal.me/freedom doesn't exist.
Okay, so people donate to him. He asks for donations. Who cares? It's not your money. It's their money. If they want to do it, then who are we to judge for it?
He's lying
Oh
to
yeah,
the
yeah.
He's lying to the people that what
Fucking
it's
A.
not
Every time I
intended
go to
for.
talk, my signal.
Oops. Hold on, let Slacker talk.
Yeah.
Oh shit, my bad. I was gonna say I'm not judging the people who donate to him. I'm judging him. For multiple reasons. The way he treats the homeless, I didn't like that. The video he made with Selena, so it either implies he himself is a wife beater or they take domestic violence as a joke, and I don't take that too lightly. And third, as a grown man, I feel like he's a punk because like Sancho was kind of insinuating earlier. How do you take a road trip with no fucking planning? Like I have no money, I have no gas, I have no food, I have no place to go. But let me take a road trip across town and beg everybody to save my ass. Like I just don't like him because his morals. He seems like he's got begs people for money. He can't support himself or his family. Like my son just turned 21, has a son, has been holding down a full-time job for 3.5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like that's someone that I can look up to and be like, okay, you're taking care of your responsibilities. Patrick has a fucking child and is still e-begging. He can't even fucking. Like I said, as soon as I had kids, all that other bullshit went out the window. The gang banging, the drug selling, the fucking stealing, the fucking breaking into houses, all that shit went out the window when I had kids because that's what responsibility is. And he just don't know that. As a human being, he's garbage to me.
So would you say auditing, if that's what y'all want to call it, is not a job?
Okay, I don't think it should be. Like, I got no problem if you come in here with the intentions of making money and you're honest about it. Hey, be honest and say, hey, I'm in here. I'm filming the cops, but I'm doing it to get paid. But he's doing it under the guise of a freedom fighter. And I don't know any freedom fighter. Martin Luther King didn't get paid. Rosa Parks didn't get paid. Malcolm X didn't get paid. Gandhi didn't get paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, people that are actually doing things, they don't get paid for it. They do it for the benefit of the human race and society. That's what they do it for. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You still got signal. Go ahead. I want you to continue. You got signal.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, like, because I know a lot of people that do it that aren't monetized, like myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just choose to do it just to get it out there rather than to do it to get paid. Though I have been monetized and have gotten donations, so I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like it's never happened, though.
Right. So you made a comment that Martin Luther King and all these other great activists of our time never got paid. Are you sure about that?
Job. Oh, paid as a job for activism? I'm 80% sure of that. I'm 80% sure of that. I can't guarantee it because, no, I'm never 100%. I don't know their actual background in their life and their financials. But to my knowledge, their activism, when they were out just doing activism, was solely for the benefit of individuals. Now, if they received donations and help, that's separate. You know what I'm saying? Because we're talking about monetization. We're not talking about donations. We're not talking about help. We're talking about doing it to get paid. So they're not doing it to get paid. They don't go out there and they didn't clock in 8 hours of marching and then say at the end of the day, I marched for 8 hours. Give me my 25, 30, 40 bucks, whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? Like the way the monetization does. Now, donations is different. But we're talking like pay, like doing it for money. They didn't do it for money. They did it for the purpose, and they just may have been helped while doing it.
So let me ask you this. Throughout the years of, I'm just gonna keep using Martin Luther King because it's I know quite a bit. I'm pretty well taught on his what he did. He was a great man. Don't ever get me twisted. I think he did a great job. He did it right. But do you think he had another job that he worked during the day besides doing his activism work?
Oh, he was a reverend.
Okay. Did he get paid for that, you think?
Oh, I don't know any church or reverend that doesn't get some sort of pay from it. But again, that's not his activism. That's his job. My bad. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure he did have a job, especially with his, like I said, with his church and being involved in the church. I'm sure he got paid and got taken care of. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you made the comment and that donations and stuff like that's not considered making money.
Yeah. So I wouldn't consider that as a profit. No.
But what if you go into it knowing that's going to happen and that's what you're banking on to survive? Would that become an out income or a job?
I could see that, but it's not guaranteed. Like with the job, if I put in 40 hours, I'm guaranteed that 40 hours. With the donation, I'm not guaranteed. I'm not guaranteed a donation. Yes, I may go in there wanting and assuming I'm going to get some, but there's no guarantee that I will. So I can't rely on that to pay my bills. I can't rely on that to pay to give me something to eat or things of that nature. It's not something that I can count on that will be there no matter what.
Well, you can't bank on a 40-hour job either, because you come in one day and have a job, next day you be laid off. I've seen it happen.
Okay, true that. But the hours you work, you'll get paid for. Like I said, if I go into work and they said, if they say you're fired right now, but you've worked 20 hours this week, I still get those 20 hours paid.
Maybe.
Like, I don't get paid for the. I don't. You're right, because I've had jobs that done that. I say you're right. I've had jobs that done that. I've had a couple jobs owe me a couple thousand. So you're 100% right. But you're more likely, like, you can sue. You got legal actions to go with things like that. Like if you work for someone and they don't pay you, now you have legal actions to go find that money. You don't have that with donations.
If you
that's what I said. There's a difference. Like you can. Yeah. I said it is all. They said you got to, but you still have that option. Like if I don't get a donation, I can't sue somebody for not donating to me. You know what I'm saying? I can't say, NN, man, you didn't donate to me this month, but you donated to me last month, so I needed that money. I'm going to go ahead and take you to court for that because I rely on that. But a job, I can do that to. A job, I can tell, well, I worked for 60 hours for you. You owe me that 60 hours of pay. That's why I feel that there's a difference.
I think you're missing my point here, though. I clearly understand what you're saying. What I'm getting at is Martin Luther King banked on his activism work. He banked on the people around him making his life. I mean, he was a very wealthy man. I know there's a lot of talk around saying that he wasn't, but he was. He had everything he needed and wanted, and it was given to him by people. That's what made his job. That's what made his life. was his activism, not his reverend job. The church, they did, they put him in the house. Sorry?
I agree, but like we're saying, but we're going off of donations though. Like those are the generosity of people. I can't guarantee that when I go for a walk or when I go on live, I can't guarantee that people's generosity are gonna get me by. So yeah, you're right. He did bank on it. I don't doubt that he fucking pocketed, a good bed to sleep in, good food in his stomach, and money in his pocket when he needed it. I don't doubt that. But I don't think he did it for that purpose. I don't think Martin Luther King woke up one morning and said, you know what, I'm going to fight for the freedom of African Americans. That's what I'm saying. But I think PayPal Patty does. I think Patrick consciously knew he could get paid for doing this and chose to do this. That's why I see there's a difference. Like MLK happened.
So
people while doing this. That's why I feel, again, and I'm not knocking him. The people who donate to him, hey, fuck, he's doing it. If he can sucker these people out of money, do you, PayPal, do you. I'm not gonna I don't give a shit. That's you. I'm not gonna call your donators and be like, hey, stop. But I just, like I said, my personal opinion on the guy is that he's just doing it for the money.
So you can bank or count on your donations as your income. You absolutely can, due to the fact if you have a big enough following and you've done your homework on your statistics and what you make every stream or you make every video off of just strictly donations, absolutely you can make that a full-time job. And that's what Patty Cakes has done. Okay, I know this because he's taught me a lot about it. Okay. When Patrick first started, and I mean, trust me, I don't agree with half the shit Patrick does. I don't like the way he goes out and records. I don't. So don't think I'm just here taking up for him, because that's not the case. I hear a lot of bad talk about him, and not really bad talk, just a lot of shit talk, I guess. Anyway, where was I going
like I said, I don't like the guy, like I said, for many reasons, and I do feel, and like I said, I don't like the guy for many reasons, but I've said many times that I don't care if someone does this for the money, as long as you're open and honest about your intentions. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let the viewers think that you're doing it for a stand-up reason.
They're deceiving. You don't like the deceiving part. Yeah.
So that's like
the fuck.
Because I got no problem with, like I said, with what PayPal Patty does. I don't go on his stream. I don't watch him. I don't support him. The only time I badmouth him is when, asked questions about him and things like that. But you fucking stupid seatbelt nigga, act like you don't want to fucking, like I said, but I don't hate him enough to just constantly bash him. People ask me about him. I'll give my opinion and let him know that I feel like he's a scam artist. He's a very good scam artist, and people are just, him and Josh are good scam artists that people just fall right into. Oh, that fucking AC feels good.
And I really want to stress, and I've made this mistake as well, focusing on the uncontrollable, focusing on the sheep that Josh Abrams herds instead of Josh Abrams. Going after the people who donate to someone like Patrick, that's up to them. They're a grown adult. They can do what they want. Just like the sheep are a grown adult, they can follow Josh Abrams as much as they want. And that's always a mistake that is made in this, is going after the wrong people for it, if that makes sense.
How about going after the advertisers for those who monetize their channels, to let the advertisers know who they're actually promoting?
Well, WEEI in Boston had that huge issue with a host said something controversial. Wasn't illegal, controversial, freedom of speech, and a small group of people went after the advertisers, and the advertisers one by one jumped off, and the host got fired because of it.
So I want to point out, I don't care for Patrick Ebegan either. Like I said, I'm not here to just, take up for him and say, y'all are assholes. No, it ain't happening that way. And Patrick knows that about me. I mean, I talk to Patrick, not real often, but quite enough. But when Patrick first started this, it wasn't for the money. I can tell you that right now. Do I think he's turned towards the money now? Absolutely. I do. And
see, I don't believe. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You can't knock him, the man. I mean, if he can make it, let the man make it. Who cares? You know, I mean, it's the people's choices to donate. That's why I don't understand why people get so mad at people eat bags. If you don't like it, don't watch them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and I don't. You're right. I 100% don't watch him, but I feel like he is doing it for the money because I know I was around when Patty first started. I know who he first started talking to and where he got his advice from. And the person he got his advice from gave him advice on money making, not on auditing, gave him his advice on how to operate YouTube as a business. So that told me that he came in here with the intent of making money, not with the intent of opening eyes and putting out information that needed to be out there. Because even if you look at his videos, 90% of his videos are him being belligerent, him being stupid, him being Josh. Him and Josh do the exact same thing. It's like they got the same cue cards that they both read off of and act off of because they act the same way. They want to be loud or somewhat obnoxious. They want to act like they know what they're talking about. They want to act this. They want to act that. And people only watch them because they wait for them to get tased. Like, honest to God, if you ask as many of Patty's subscribers how many of them actually watch for the content, I promise you 40 to 60% will say we watch to see what happens. Not because of what the content he provides, but because they're waiting for that ass whooping or that taser to come out. That's it.
I hate to tell you, 50% of any of our channels is that's what it's about. But besides that, shit. How am I gonna put that? You said that the person he started talking to taught him about money. If you don't mind me asking, who was that person you say that taught him about the money?
Not to be a dick, but I can't put that information out there without them first giving me the okay.
No, that's fine. I mean, a lot of people think that James Freeman got him started, and that's incorrect. Actually, Patty was before James Freeman, and
Patty was around the same time as Freeman. When Freeman first started, Patty was still getting advice from somebody. Like I said, because I know like advice not only in the business but also in the filming, because there was also other advice.
Well, out of Freeman's own mouth, he said that Patty was around before him for a very long time. And Freeman said out of his own mouth. The Freeman said also out of his own mouth. The reason Freeman even got involved in this kind of work or this kind of stuff was because he got tired of seeing patty cakes pumped. Now, these are Freeman's exact words. But that's the reason that's the reason I was asking about who said that, because a lot of people think that Freeman actually got Patty started, and that's not exactly true at all.
No. But I will say that Patty wasn't out way before Freeman. Patty was out maybe a couple months, not like significantly long, because Patty didn't come out till like almost 2 years or a year after me, Jack, SA Ecstasy, and like Patty was like one of the last auditors to really or filmers to really pop up out of Texas, like one of the big ones, like besides the few that pop up. Yeah, but Patty ain't even been around that long. He's still like, besides his numbers, the guy's still small fry. Actually, we all are, if you want to think about it. This whole community is small fry. We feel like we got that big head syndrome. We feel like we're a big community, but we're small fries.
100%. I was watching a stream that was dedicated to doxing me, which they failed. And Joe Rogan was live with over 200 and with 60. He had 65,000 people on his live stream, and there were not even 100 people on the other stream. This is a very small community.
Let me explain something to this community. Y'all call it community. I hate the fucking word community.
So do I. hate it too.
It used to be a lot larger than what it is today. Throughout the last, I'm gonna say about 2 years, we have significantly, reduced our numbers as far as followers. Now, our numbers have been people out there, so-called.
And we're coming upstream with them Eagles claws.
Do what?
Hey, Andrew, do the flirt.
Now I got brain damage. Thank you, Andrew. I have brain damage now. Thank you.
Until he comes back on and can finish, let me just make a comment. Like, I feel like he's right. This community used to be bigger, and by no means what I'm about to say is calling anybody out, disrespecting anybody or anything. I'm just gonna give my honest opinion right now. But I feel like this community has gotten smaller because people like Freeman, Furry, Texas Sheepdog, and others continue to make this movement a laughing stock. You got Freeman walking around with foil on his head and panties on his face. You got Jack walking around with panties on his face. You got Furry walking around filming churches and shit like that. When you got people doing these kind of things, of course, the people that took it seriously are going to relocate and find somewhere else to be and leave us with just the fucking crazies and nut jobs. So yes, this movement used to be a lot bigger and stronger, because when I first started, there was people like Onus News and Tom Zebra that were really just legitimately filming and putting out information. Now we got people that are just trying to outdo one another. What can I do to outdo the last guy to get more views than he did? That's what it's become nowadays. It's become a community of YouTubers and not a community of activists anymore.
I will say, Andrew, this might be a huge honor for you to hear this, but our Mach 1A, code of conduct, Furry Potato was watching and actually called us trolls the next day watching it.
And like that, and it's hard because like me making those comments, I can guarantee now in the next week, people are going to say that I was talking shit about everybody that I just mentioned. And by no means was I talking shit. I was just expressing my opinion on how I feel what they're doing isn't helping. It's not hurting either, but it's not helping. And if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem.
You're hurting. It's hurting. Look, and I'll say just like I did about Patty.
And then, but then again, Patty and Josh too, they do the same thing. They may not have the foil and the panties on their head, but they're going out to these police stations and they're like talking shit. And anyway, I'm one to trust me, I'm one to talk shit. But I talk shit when the shit comes to me. They go to these police stations and they're intentionally causing scenes and being dumb. Like, dude, of course people aren't going to take us seriously when you got. And I can name many more. I can sit here and I got at least 5 or 10 more people that what they do, in my opinion, isn't appropriate for what they claim. If they want to be YouTubers, then be YouTubers, bro. Let's do that. You know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna allege to fight and be a fucking hand of freedom and fight for freedom and do all that, then why are we doing all this extra shit? Why do you need to do the extra? Freedom itself should be enough.
First of all, let's put it this way: if you're out here fighting for the people's freedom, you're a fucking retard.
Oh, I fight for my own.
That's understandable. The only person that can fight for their freedom is that person. Now, Amen. You can go out and show them the world and teach them how to interact in the world of gaining their freedom or trying to gain their freedom. I don't know if we'll ever gain it. But going back to the people you mentioned, James Freeman, Furry, when I first started watching them years ago, what they are today is not what they used to be. The same thing with Patty Cakes. All right.
Same thing with myself too.
Well, the problem is they have gotten bored. Okay, they have they've got their. I hate to say this because I mean I like Freeman. I don't have a problem with Freeman. And I'm sorry. I think the painting on his fucking face is funny, but I think he should do that on a channel that's not for advocating for freedoms. Yeah, but that's my opinion. Who am I? I'm a fucking nobody. But they used it for the right reason. I do believe that they have moved for the YouTuber status. They want the YouTube status now, not the let's help bring awareness. Yeah, let's help bring awareness status, and that's cool. And I have no problem with that. If they're bored with it and they want to do that, that's totally fine. The issue I have with it is they're using their activist status to gain their YouTube status, which makes us all look like shit. And as far as Furry goes, look, I like Furry. And I mean, I still don't have an issue with Furry, but okay, yeah, I do have an issue with Furry. Leave the fucking religion. You're out here advocating for the Constitution, for the rights of the people, but here yet you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're dogging the religion. You're out there scrutinizing people's religion. Who the fuck are you?
I gotta ask a question. I don't know what that word is, Shiva.
Shiva don't know either.
Dichotomy?
Shiva don't know either.
I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. Tis. Southside Slacker. That's a false dichotomy or dichotomy.
He's hitting on you, Southside.
Dichotomy, right? Dichotomy. D-I-C-H. Okay, dichotomy.
Yep.
But
so I don't know what that word means. And if I fucked up, if I gave misinformation, I'd like to correct it. Or if I was called out for being a punk, hey, I like to know.
So hang on, El Sancho. I was called a troll the very next day off your channel by Furry.
Yeah, Furry Potato watched a video and was talking to Ice Cold during her live stream and said that we're a bunch of trolls
Kick out of me.
and she's gonna audit churches no matter what the fuck we say.
Well, Furry, I hope you see this video. I think it's pretty lame that you're out there advocating for people's freedoms, and in return, you're hindering their freedoms. The freedom of religion is very well established case law, well established in the Constitution, and you're out there scrutinizing it. And some of the churches you go to, Furry, are recognized by the government as actual religions.
Oh, let's do it.
I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, and that was my first time mentioning the way I felt about those videos. Because I try to keep my opinion to myself about a lot of shit because people in this, again, I say community very loosely because this is not a community, but the people in this community seem to get butthurt real easy over people's like just their opinions on shit, like I don't know. So it's hard to even vent and be honest and open in this community because people won't take it as you being honest; they'll take it as you attacking them.
Hey, I want to mute real quick. I got to get started. But I'll be trying to listen.
You're prickly. I don't. I am an uneducated criminal. Like I'll be honest with y'all. I got my GED at 15. I was court ordered. The last grade I completed was the 5th grade. I completed the 5th to the 6th, and then I spent 3 years in the 6th grade. Then got passed up. 2 years in the 7th grade. Look, there's Mom and Robin. Right, that's Mom in that green striped shirt down there, and Robin in the cutoff, looking all butchy.
Yep.
Yeah, see, look at them.
What it
Looking all
essentially
dykey
means
and
is
shit.
entities and groups. Groups of entities split up into two.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so I'm uneducated, man. I got a GED. Didn't see any high school. Fucking 15 hours of college. So I mean, I'm a dumbass. I'll admit it. But I'm not above wanting to learn though.
Hello. Can you hear me? Am I?
Here comes Professor Shiva.
Oh, look, there's
Can you
Shiva.
guys hear
Oh,
me?
right, awesome, man. If you can, I can barely hear you, but if you can explain
All
that
right.
word to me, I would love it.
Let me turn myself up. Is that a bit better? Is that better? Can you hear me better?
Better for me.
Okay. Got to say, Southside Slacker, first of all, I'm starting to like you quite a lot, even though you're an auditor or a cop watcher or whatever you are. But you make a lot of sense. I have very little to pick at what you said, apart from when you said you're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem. That's a logical fallacy known as a false dichotomy, because you're only presenting two options when there are a whole bunch of other options, right? You might not even be aware of the problem and or any solutions. There might be more than one solution to a given problem. So yeah, that was it really. That's what a false dichotomy is.
Okay, it makes perfect sense now that you've explained it to me. I mean, hey, that makes perfect sense. There's not just two options. You're right. A person could be ignorant to it, and their ignorance isn't causing any harm. So yeah, you schooled me. I feel smarter now. I got a wrinkle in my brain now. I appreciate it.
He's my professor. I don't mind saying it. He's my professor. He's taught me a couple things.
I just want to make it clear. I'm just an articulate idiot, right?
Hey, but words matter. I tell people that all the time. How you say things matters. So I'm someone.
I think words matter too. People accuse me of being a grammar Nazi, but that's actually not true. What I am is a semantics Nazi.
Oh shit! That's me too. I'm the same way. Me and you will get along good because I'm the same.
No, he just uses Google Dictionary also a lot.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Y'all think I have earphones?
No, I do.
This is the dictionary in my ear.
I do use Google Dictionary. If I don't know what the precise definition of a word means, I'll fucking look it up on Google. Too fucking right, I will. I mean, there's no shame in using dictionaries. Dictionaries are great. Everyone should use dictionaries.
Yeah, but you use it all the time now.
Well, look, okay. My other option, right, is to get my 2-volume shorter Oxford English dictionary. I could use that instead if you like, but Google's a lot quicker. Like, you know.
Hey, I use
You can't
Google
see them
too.
there, but look, there we go. You can see the Oxford Dictionary logos on them. That's a really good dictionary. 2 volumes, so it's kind of manageable. You know, it's not 60
Sheila,
volumes or whatever.
Sheila,
Sorry,
I
I
use
love
Google
dictionaries.
Dictionary.
Yeah, I guess in the car. Wait.
Google, I use Google Dictionary too. I still speak wrong.
Oh, so there's a Google Dictionary. I just Google the word and just get the definition. I didn't know there's an actual dictionary. I feel even stupider now. Fuck.
No, well, I mean, I suppose when I'm saying Google Dictionary, I actually mean the exact same thing. I just put a word and then get the first definition.
I know I got a fucking mask. Excuse me 1 second.
I need to update my dictionary really because it's from 1985, so it's a bit out of date now.
Damn.
But you know, they're quite expensive. The shorter Oxford, they can be.
But isn't that in American English?
No, the American English would be like Merriam-Webster, wouldn't it?
Good possible. Yeah.
Oxford University Press is based in Oxford, England.
Well, that's why it makes no sense to us Americans.
Oh shit! You know what I just have to? Guess I'm not getting the headshot.
Is Andrew humping a pool?
No, I'm sure you will.
I don't know. Anyway, I actually only just came up just to explain what a force dichotomy was, so I'm going to jump off now. Yeah. So I hope you guys have a lovely conversation, and I'll see you later.
Have a good one.
Thank you, Shiva, for clearing that up.
She called me and she was like, "Oh, I guess you know."
Hey, Joe Cool's here.
I was just like, "Bro, talk for this?" She was like, "Oh, well, yeah."
Come on up, Joe. If we'll let the link go through. Yeah. Sanchez, are you having problems with the panel stream link to go through at times?
It depends if you're using a cell phone or a computer. On a cell phone, anything happens, unfortunately. If you're on the computer, it's a lot more reliable. And I think Joe's on his cell phone.
Yeah. Oh, he probably has to put his phone on the charger. He keeps forgetting to do that.
I've been called Sanchez. I've been called a lot worse than Sanchez, so you can call me Sanchez.
No, I just can't say your damn name. My English.
Do you want to call me Sanch?
It'll be whatever comes out of my mouth at the time.
Yeah. I won't be offended.
Does Slater have pantyhose on his face?
Man, what should I get to eat, yo? Y'all know I'm a little skinny guy. There's chickens, hot wings, burgers.
Get a plate with sideboards to it, and get it filled up. So is Josh already out? Or Sanchez?
Yes, he's already out. He's out.
Hey, Nevaeh.
He's been released with no bond, but in Massachusetts, he is still on probation. So it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out in Massachusetts, knowing that he's been on that.
Like, I'm pretty sure the burgers, like the basic dressings, are all the same.
Hold on,
It's mayo, lettuce, tomatoes,
That was Slacker. I think he forgot his mic wasn't muted. He's out on bond, but he's on probation. For Sanchez.
No, he's got no bond, and he's got no bond in Indiana. They don't even consider him a risk right now. I think he did the right thing and went out of his way to go there. It probably impressed them enough to not put a bond or a bail on him. I am interested to see how his current case in Massachusetts is looking at it because of how much icy water he is currently in Massachusetts.
Yeah. Oh well, if he gets arrested in faces jail time in the one and then faces jail time in the other, that's going to be a sketchy situation.
Probation he's on in Massachusetts. He
Ooh.
was on that before the Indiana arrest even happened. So, like, probation, he's been on for a little while now. And the reason why he still is on that and hasn't had a court case because his court case has been rescheduled 3 times due to COVID-19.
Yeah. Well, he's lucky. But wouldn't that violate his parole? And being on.
That's my question that I'm still wondering with all the hot water he's been in Massachusetts for the, at the time, armed robbery, now unarmed robbery case that he's still facing. He has to report to his off. I don't know. It's very interesting to see him get into so much hot water in Indiana, knowing he's on a tightrope in Massachusetts.
Maybe the two court systems will work together and really lube them up.
Nobody told him.
With the Indiana case, it's a serious charge. I mean, he's getting, they pretty much lump in everything. He's pretty much getting in charge with impersonating a public official, which could be a lawyer, pretty much anyone that's a public servant. But the fact that it was a police officer and the fact that he arrested somebody before even saying citizen's arrest and read the Miranda rights before even saying citizen's arrest and repeatedly kept saying my prisoner and refused to give up the prisoner to the police and wanted her to be in his custody still, even the police were there. And knowing that you cannot do a citizen's arrest on a misdemeanor, which he didn't even know until halfway through the video, he's in.
Sorry, I had to laugh. That's false imprisonment there, if they hit him with it.
Well, he's also getting charged with confinement as well. He's getting in charge with impersonating a public official and confinement.
Yeah, well, what was that quote from Forrest Gump? Stupid is as stupid does.
Hey, Clash.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Just up here bullshitting, having fun.
Who's getting picked on?
Oh, right now we're talking about Josh Abrams.
Oi.
And his stupidity or infinite wisdom. I don't know what to call it.
That could take a while.
Ass hattery.
That's more
that
like
too.
it.
Yeah. All I know is he turned himself in, and then he got bonded out pretty much right away.
He didn't have any bond.
Oh, I thought he did. He turned himself in. I saw him turning himself in, and then I saw the video after that he was out. So my bad, I assumed and made an ass of myself, but I thought he had a bond and he bonded out.
I thought it very interesting that they cuffed him.
Well, he's facing felony charges, NJ. They would cuff anyone who's facing felony charges.
Yeah. I hope people learn learn what not to do from him. Impersonating a police officer. That's like retarded beyond retarded. Of course, then
Wait,
you
was that what the charge was for? Impersonating an officer?
Public official.
Oh, but Jesus, is that when he said he was doing that citizen's arrest or whatever on that guy?
That's the
Right,
problem.
but
He never said it.
right, but if you arrest, if you do a citizen's arrest on anyone, essentially, that works for the, that works for the city or for the state, that's a public official.
Okay.
And he was impersonating a police officer. That's the issue. Like, he could go ahead and impersonate the mayor and get charged with that. He can go ahead and impersonate the woman at the front desk who works for the sheriff's office and get charged with that as proof. There's video evidence of him impersonating a police officer. He put the woman in custody. He kept saying, "My prisoner did not relinquish the woman to law enforcement like it should be." I mean, he put someone under a citizen's arrest for a misdemeanor because he didn't know that it was a misdemeanor in Indiana. He didn't know the laws before pressing report.
You know what they say.
Now, here's the thing, though, and sorry to end you, I need to get this while I'm still thinking about it. So even though it's a misdemeanor, you get all these auditors out there. Perfect example was when they picked on Pikes Peak and they arrested him for jaywalking. Jaywalking's a misdemeanor, yet they still cuffed him and booked him, and he has to bail out. So, I mean, of course, he impersonated an officer, which is besides the fact, but would it really matter if it's a misdemeanor or not? If you want to place someone under a citizen's arrest?
Are you able to highlight that photo, that comment from HPR News, Odin? Because I kind of want to respond to that, because in the video, Josh Abrams specifically addresses himself as the arresting officer.
Okay. Bam. Right there, eh?
Yeah, well, the bottom line is ignorance of the law is no excuse. If you're going out of state and you're going to do what these people do, you got to know what you're getting into depending on the jurisdiction that you're in. If you don't know and you go in blindly like that, this is what happens. Play stupid games, get stupid prizes.
Yeah. Like a box of Cracker Jacks, but you don't get the real, you don't get the golden ring. You get the little parachute that never opens up.
He's done this before with the citizen's arrest, but he did it to the wrong person. Literally, the officer, I think it was his wife that he did a citizen's arrest to, who also works for the town. I mean, he fucked up big time.
Right. Yeah, well.
Well, he thought he was going to be a hero. Now he turned out to be a zero.
Oh. That'd be a good one for a shirt.
I'm stealing that from Gunnison Undercover. That's he phrases it differently. Calls it a zero hero.
That'd be good for a shirt. You know, I tried to be a hero and ended up a zero. You know, have a guy in a cape on top and then have a guy behind bars on the bottom. You know, hero and zero.
Yeah, I don't really like what that baby lady's doing. I'm gonna put him under arrest right now.
It's about 90% of the problem with these people. They think they're heroes going out and doing what they're doing, and they don't research. They don't check up on what's going on in the jurisdiction they're talking about. They just, it's nationwide. Well, guess what? Not always.
And then they love to use that 10-foot rule, or 15, or is it 8? Where you can't trespass me from a public space.
Those are urban myths. That's and it's actually a joke if you really look at the face of it.
Yep.
I mean, that 10-foot thing, that's not even dicta. That was just a description of where the guy was standing.
Uh, hey, Vital.
And it's not like this information is unavailable to anybody with the internet. I mean, I granted I put it on Discord, and you got to get invited to Civil Rights Unites to get it at that file anyway. But I also put it on fanclub.com. Everybody in the world can see that.
Yeah. You even put SCOTUS laws into my server where I put the link in for people to join and go in there and read it. You even broke it down so they could
Thank you.
hopefully understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I can't tell dicta from an actual ruling, except of course if it's in the paragraph where they are exactly the judge is actually writing the ruling. But yeah, it's a lot to read and it's a lot to decipher. And what little bit I've done, I hope helps somebody.
Hey, Odin,
Yeah.
I have a guest Saturday night, my guy.
What's that?
I have a guest Saturday night.
Oh, you have a guest Saturday night?
Yes, sir.
Oh, who's that?
Well, who do you think?
Slacker?
Yep, confirmed, my guy. Your wish is my command.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I believe he'll break it down for you and he'll give you what he believes or his opinion. And that's all you can do, you know. And that's what they're so called out there fighting for is everybody to have their free speech and have their opinion heard. So they say. Or Sanchez.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. Working on some really big interviews. I was talking to Nativa as well. So, I'm excited to entertain you.
So, in my opinion, there's too much entertainment going on, not enough education.
I agree.
Right.
I agree. And I've been the biggest topic on that on one other channel more than the Constitution and freedom, and I'm sick of it. I'm not more important than that, and that's why I have my channel to kind of change things, you know.
Yeah. The Constitution comes before the Bill of Rights. So what the Constitution says is the law. The Bill of Rights is amended to the Constitution, in my opinion.
A lot of people feel that the amendments are more important than the Constitution. Trouble is, the Constitution sets up the government. The amendments control the government.
Yep. That's what I was trying to say in a non-nerd way. Isn't there Article 5 in the Constitution that allows the Supreme Court to make laws? Diver?
No, I don't believe so.
What is Article 5? Diver?
I don't know. I haven't made a study of the Constitution quite yet.
Okay. So I could be speaking out my ass.
Well, you
Yeah,
do sound clear, so I mean that could be, Odin, because usually when you're talking out your mouth, there's peanut butter in it. So
I do know
I had
that.
to throw that in there.
I do know that that third branch of the government can decide whether or not a law is constitutional, but they can't write law. Congress does that.
Yeah.
And the president and his administration are in charge somewhat of enforcing the laws, and they do create their own through executive order and the regulations, the different agencies that they run, that Congress allows them to run, to flesh out some of the laws that Congress writes. But as far as the judicial branch, no. They just decide whether or not the laws are just. And if not, they declare it unconstitutional. And then it's up to Congress or the lower state governments that they also are in charge of to rewrite the unconstitutional law or regulation.
Yeah.
My basic understanding.
Yeah, that's what I was understanding. Then you got Canadians trying to teach American constitutional laws, and their constitution or their Bill of Rights charter is totally different. Right, Clash?
Oh God, please don't. I don't even want to get into what they call a Bill of Rights or Charter of Rights. It's a joke. It's a joke on so many levels. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some good things in there that are more focused on the upcoming generation than securing their footings. But I mean, as far as, you know, the freedom of speech, well, you know, and I mean, I'm sure we talked about it here, but you know, now they're coming up with these, you know, that's hate speech. You know, we don't have a Second Amendment. We don't have the right to bear arms. We could have hunting rifles, and then police or security guards. You know, they're allowed to carry guns, but even there was an article written up here in where I'm from in Canada, where an officer transported his gun home instead of in his locker because he wanted to take it in and get it serviced, which is against the policy of the police on all levels. And he was pulled over and he was caught, and huge disciplinary actions against him. Right. So even you're a cop and you're allowed to carry it if you're, you know, like if you fart the wrong way and they're going to nail you. So our Bill of Rights or Charter of Rights is yeah. Think of it more like a necktie or a ascot that's done up way too tight.
Yeah. And then you got Australia and their charter or bill or whatever they call it, right? And
But still, could somebody answer me that one question? And it goes back again to, you know, regardless of this Josh Abrams and impersonating an officer, I really want to know if something like jaywalking or disturbing the peace is a misdemeanor. How can it be that they get away with arresting somebody, making them bail out or bond out, when it's just a ticketable offense and that's it?
It's probably up to the discretion of the officer.
and depends on if they listened to the officer and gave the ID when requested. There's a lot more they could add to it then.
So in the term of some of these, so in the term then with some of these auditors and how they get all upset, they say if you just lick the boots, then they'll probably just give you a warning or ticket and send you off your way. But if you don't lick their boots, then you're going to end up being in jail.
It's in my opinion, it's go back to the semi-real estate phrase: behavior, behavior, behavior.
Right.
Not so much kowtowing or genuflecting to the officer. It's how you deport yourself.
So, am I understanding you and saying it's kind of like, with a baby? You can look at a baby and, oh, you're such a pretty baby. Or you can look at it and say, man, you're a beautiful baby. And the tone is what sets it for the cop. Is that what you're saying? I mean, if a cop says something like that to me, like, jaywalking, let me see your ID. Thank you, but no thank you. I don't have to. You think that's going to change the outcome as compared to looking at the cop and saying, fuck you, I don't have to give it to you?
Well, the fact that he told you what your violation was and then asked you for it, he's followed procedure. And even then, in some states, he doesn't have to do that. He can just stop you, tell you to give you give him your ID, and that's it. Because in a lot of states, it's stop an ID.
Oh, see, I thought it was more the opposite way, where there was more states that were not stop an ID than were.
That's true, but if he's got reasonable suspicion and he does not have to articulate it to you, that's not a requirement until booking. And even then, he can just keep his mouth shut and keep you away from the paperwork. And then the judge or the magistrate that you go before, they're the ones responsible for telling you why you're there.
Right. And so again, because I'm really not as familiar with the American laws as y'all are, but if it's a misdemeanor, for example, he asks me for ID and I say, no, thank you, but I'll give you my name and address. For something as small as a misdemeanor, my social security number and all that kind of stuff and date of birth is really irrelevant on a misdemeanor ticket. So do you really have to give your ID, or is that just the cop using their standard statements that they use to everybody?
Well, this decision in Terry versus Ohio that really sets this up. And if they want to, like I said, it's all up to the officer's discretion. If he thinks, he's got a serious enough case with you, he will press it. And he doesn't have to say much to you other than, turn around, put your hands behind your.
Right. And that's fair. Like I say, I'm simply just asking these questions because I see a lot of it. And yes, 99.5% of the time, the people that we're watching on video are usually giving the cops more grief than most people would, per se, right? So that's kind of why I was wondering if it's just a misdemeanor and a ticketable offense, how these cops can get away with arresting them and stuff. But you're saying it's more about, I guess, the interaction.
It can be both. It's, the attitude that someone's going to have when you treat them like a human being is reflected in how they're going to react to you. That's why I try to treat people the way I want them to treat me. You be like a mirror. If they give you an attitude, you give them an attitude back, you're going to get even worse attitude back because that's human nature. But if you just stand there and let them have their rage and only respond the minimum that you're needed to, there's nothing that they can say later in court that you did anything wrong other than the violation they're accosting you for.
Right.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
So NJ, say you're walking down the road and you're just walking, but it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You're just walking. Say your back was hurt and you get out and walk. That happens. I know my dad does it. All right. Or a person I call it. Anyway, a cop stops. Okay. Whether you're in a stop and identify state or not, don't matter. He stops and asks you for your ID. You gonna give it to him?
If I know I'm not doing anything illegal, if I know I am in an area that I'm allowed to be, no.
All right, just a question. And going back, whether your state is a stop and identify state which what that consists of is a statute that the state has got into its constitution, its laws, it's state statute. It's not a federally regulated law. So stop and identify state, even to this day, you do not have to identify as if you're not doing nothing wrong. Now, as far as the articulating a crime, no, they do not have to articulate that to you on the side of the road, nor do they have to articulate that to you while you're in jail. That is for the judge to articulate to you and for you to argue in court. But with that being said, you only have to identify if the cop has reasonable suspicion that you've committed, about to commit, or in the process of committing. Now, reasonable is what it boils down to, the definition of reasonable, which in the court's eyes, reasonable is 10 or so people of the same, like I said, cops, so 10 more cops. If they all, majority of them say it was reasonable, then it was reasonable. That's what reasonable boils down to. So if a cop just walks up to you and say, well, I think, you're suspicious, you don't have to ID. Fuck that. Absolutely not. Take it to court. Get arrested. Now, once again, I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Being arrested, you automatically lose. I don't care if a year down the road you win $5 million off that arrest, you still lost. So pick your battles. That's all I wanted to say.
You're already there the moment he stops you.
No, I mean, put this way, not too long ago, it was about a month ago or so, I was out walking around, and I was actually on a panel with Friends of Code, and just out walking. It's probably about 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, and the cops pulled up right behind me and yelled out, hey. And I turned around straight, looked, and I said, hey, I don't want no contact, and I kept walking. By no means do I have to stop for them. Do I have to give them ID? Do I have to do anything for them? They had no reasonable suspicion there was anything afoot.
Yeah.
But now, see,
So
what
why
I'm
stop
hearing
for 'em?
between y'all, and sorry, Andrew, what I'm hearing between y'all now is that, so I hear from NJ Diver saying that they come up and they ask you for ID. They don't have to tell you what you're fine or what you're, they don't have to tell you any of that, right?
Nope. Yep.
But then, okay, and that's fine. But now you're saying that, well, I don't have to give you ID unless you can prove to me that, you're RAS. Well, now the ball's going back to the cops court, or the cops side of the court per se, because now he's going to have to say something to you about why he's doing it. But yet NJ's saying, well, they really don't have to. So now you even saying that to the cop, I don't have to give it to you. What have I done wrong?
Yeah.
It sounds to me that the civilian doesn't have the right to ask that question.
No, absolutely wrong. So I see where you're coming from. So NJ is correct. They have no obligation to tell you shit. Now, a citizen has every right to ask, and if the cop feels obliged to tell you, then they can. Now, if they choose not to tell you and continue to ask for it, and you continue to refuse, and they arrest you, well, you get arrested because they have the right to do that, as long as there's reasonable suspicion. The reasonable comes down to it all, though. I'm pretty diverse, so I know if I'm doing something wrong, or I might try to know where I'm at all times on properties, just like the manhole polluting, just like the manhole polluting. All right. I got off that case, didn't I? Because I was on city property. But and the reason the reason it was thrown out was because they predicted me trespassing after I got off that property, off the city property, which that's what would happen. But anyway, it was thrown out. It was bullshit. But you got to know where you're at, and if you know where you're at, pick your battle. If you want to take it to court, take it to court. But just know, once you get arrested, you've lost. Period.
So why is it then that, in your opinion, you've lost? How have you lost?
So I get arrested. I go to jail. It costs me $800 to get out. Okay, that's a cheap bond. Trust me, I've been on plenty of high-priced bonds, but $800 to get out. But since I'm known for doing what I'm doing, and they don't like it, they hold me in there for the full 12 to 24 hours. I miss a day of work. I get fired. Next thing you know, I can't afford my car. I lose my car because I can't make the payment. Then I lose my house, and then my wife say, well, fuck you, you piece of shit. She leaves me. You've lost something, multiple things you will never gain back.
Well, shit, Andrew, but you just wrote a country western song, dude. all because of one event, right? Now,
What
come
happens?
on. I mean,
That happens a lot.
realistically, that's not typically all going to happen.
That
And
happens a lot.
honestly, with all due respect to anybody out there that could be in that position, it sounds to me like this arrest was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Because at the end of the day, you're going to end up getting in a traffic accident. You're going to split a tire. Your car's not going to start, and all that shit's going to happen anyway. It's just that a matter of that particular circumstance was the one that broke the camel's back for you. But it was going to break anyway. So come on now.
So what you're saying is, what if and Watts was candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. I understand what you're saying, but more than not, when you get arrested and something like that, yeah, you lose a lot. I mean, I've seen guys that have never had a criminal record in their life get arrested because they thought, their constitutional right was being violated, and it was. And they lost everything they had. I've seen it multiple times. It happens. Just because a vindictive cop decided to be an asshole.
Dang.
It is what it is. No, I'm not saying
unfortunately, he's correct. It does happen. And unfortunately, the system is not built right now to be able to prevent that from happening.
Right.
On paper, it's not supposed to happen, but in reality, it happens all too often.
Now, as far as percentage, I think it's half and half. No, if that part happens, I mean, 25-30% of the time, I don't think it happens as much as I'm probably putting it off to be, but it happens more than people think. And 10% of it's too much. 1% is too much, in my opinion. You're fucking with somebody's livelihood. These people are given a badge that gives them the ability to completely destroy someone's life. Because if they get vindictive enough, man, they can sit you in there on a charge, whether it gets thrown out or not. They don't give a shit, and they don't get penalized for it. So they can sit you in there on a charge that would cost you, I don't know, say $100,000. $10,000 to get out. Well, hell, who got $10,000 laying around?
The other side of it is, with their qualified immunity, they aren't personally responsible for their actions.
That's what I'm saying. They don't get punished for it. There's nothing they can do. Nothing anybody can do.
See, and that's what I think the big thing. I don't even know if it's about defunding the police as much as getting rid of their qualified immunity. I think that needs to be a bigger situation than anything for these cops.
In order to get rid of that qualified immunity, you'll have to defund those cops, make them feel that hardship, make them feel that, and then you'll weed out your bad apples, and then you can fund them what they need to actually do their job. See, Bigsby, me and Bigsby's been at it for a couple of years now, and the other day they had a call from a bunch of kids in a house. They said that somebody's outside messing around the yard. The cops showed up, and when I say the cops showed up, I mean they showed up probably 15, 20 of them. Well, that's probably about 15 of them. I mean, rifles drawn, checking his whole entire property. I mean, in and out. And they didn't find nobody. Okay. There's 3 kids in there, 3 underage kids. I mean, I think probably the oldest one probably looked about 14 and had the 2 younger siblings. But the cops showed up and did all that. Do I think that they had the proper equipment to do that? No. Sure don't. The way they went at it, they didn't have any shields. They didn't have any, and there were so many places that the perpetrator could hide to do harm to anybody on that property. But they did the best they could. Now, do they need more money for stuff like that? Yeah. The cops did a great job. And, I told them they did a great job. But that don't happen very often, in my opinion.
Okay.
And just to let you know, there are 2 bills in Congress right now, one in each house. One house, the bill will totally get rid of qualified immunity, and in the other house, it will amend qualified immunity. And you look at the situation with politics that are involved, I guess you can figure out who's where.
I believe it should be amended, not abolished.
One's abolishing it, one's amending it.
Here's the deal about this is my opinion on the qualified immunity, why I think it needs to go out the window. Okay. When you go to court and you say you did something pretty minor, nothing big deal, you didn't use a blinker or something anyway, and you didn't use the 150, okay, like the law here in Oklahoma says, you got to use a blinker within 150 feet of your turn. Okay, say you used it 100 feet and you got pulled over. You go in there and tell the judge, hey, I didn't realize it's, 150 feet, he blah, blah, blah. What's the judge going to tell you?
Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Correct. But it's okay for the cop that's supposed to be enforcing the law to be ignorant of it. That's my problem with qualified immunity. Just saying. If it's not excusable for the citizens that pay their fucking salary,
So let me ask you then. So Andrew, are you saying that the cops are they're making a way saying, well, the cops were ignorant, so that's okay, and that's what their qualified immunity?
that's what the cops are relying on. Yes.
So
They're
but the way I
all-
see it, the unfortunate part is that when it comes to the courts, it's not about ignorance when it's the cops. It's all about interpretation, right? Well, that's how the cop interpreted it. He was ignorant, but it's the cop's interpretation,
That's
right?
called qualified immunity.
And that's where the biggest problem lies. That's why I'm saying I don't think it should be amended. It should be abolished, because abolished or cut out, there's no interpreting that other than the one way it is. It's no more. If you amend it, all you're doing is opening up another can to a whole backload of interpretations and loopholes, right? Which is just.
I agree. That's my biggest issue. Is why do the people we pay? Well, never mind. I can't say that. I was gonna say why do the people we pay to protect us? But once again, they have no lawful duty to protect us. So I mean, why do we even have them? They have no lawful duty to act for any citizen. So why
The
do they even?
individual.
Right, for the public at large. Which, if you look it all up, what they're talking about is, as an individual citizen, they have no lawful duty to act upon it. Nothing. They don't have. If you're sitting there getting raped in front of them, they have no lawful duty to stop it. But they have a lawful duty to keep you from taking a piece of bubblegum from the store. Because the public at large is the corporation, the people who actually feed the city their income. It's called policing for profit. They police for the profit of their organizations.
More complications with qualified immunity, and one of the things I'm trying to find the term here that I disagree with is that it has to be an established right before it can be violated. And as far as I'm personally concerned, they established the rights and the limitations on government back in 1783, when all of the states at that time ratified the Constitution. And every state that's been created since then has had to ratify the Constitution as well before they can become a state. And the thing that irks me is that I have to prove that not only the police officer knew what he was doing was wrong, but knew that it was unreasonable and knew that what he was doing was violating the law, and that it was already established before he violated on me.
That's why I'm saying they shouldn't amend it. They should abolish it.
Well,
Because
I don't
amending
totally
it
agree
is
with
just going to
that.
be.
Tell you why. There are certain mistakes that a police officer can make, and honestly, and when all is said and done, as long as it's not allowed to get too far, you just shake hands and walk away. But of course, most circumstances nowadays don't make it that far. They go well beyond that. And unfortunately, with people's attitudes towards police and the police's attitudes towards the public right now, it's going to happen more often. And
Yeah, well, I think there's justified. I think it's justifiable on both parts.
Well, what's going on? What happened the other night and is continuing to happen up in Portland and is being threatened to happen in other cities is going to get interesting, because it's damn near a violation of posse comitatus, except in this case it's dealing with federal.
So are you all there? I lost you.
Yeah, we're here.
Sorry, I lost that whole thing.
Yeah,
Perfect example is that. What's his name? Chuck Bronson?
I'm sorry?
Is that one of the auditors out there?
I have no idea. No, I'm talking about what went on in Portland when our president sent
Can you all hear me?
federal law enforcement in to protect what he said was federal property. And the next thing you know, they're walking the crowd down the street away from the federal property they're supposed to protect. And now we're starting to do it in other
Hey, can
cities.
y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can.
All right. Well, anywho, I'm gonna shut down and let y'all get ready for other live streams and that.
Marathon panels, eh?
Well, thanks for having me on the show.
Yep, no problem. I'm gonna let Andrew actually get to work. He's slack.
Yeah, right.
Thank you all for coming.
No problem. Anytime.
See you later, Odin. See you later,
You
everybody.
kicking us out, Odin? Asshole.
Yep. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Odin, for having me on, buddy.
Yep, no problem, bro.
Adios.